So Palantir CEO Alex Karp is projecting a 30% year-over-year revenue growth rate for the next 5 years. And in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what they'll need to do to either hit or potentially even exceed that target. Which, as a side note, I think they're definitely going to exceed that revenue growth target, but more on that later. And so if Palantir is going to hit or exceed its growth targets, they have to do one of two things, or actually ideally both. They can either increase the number of clients that they have or increase the amount of money that they're making from each client. So let's break down everything Palantir is doing on both of those fronts, starting with their efforts to increase the number of clients that they have. For starters, Palantir is increasing the size of their sales force. You can see from the last report here in fiscal year 2020, they had only 18 salespeople combined, and in 2021 they had 105 salespeople combined. And in 2022 they're adding over 100 new sales positions as well. So they're establishing their sales force and they're positioning themselves to be able to go out to capture more clients and to capture more value that way. Next up is marketing, and Palantir is doing a number of things to increase the power of their marketing to get the word out about Palantir and Palantir products. And the idea is that that will increase the sales funnel or the pipeline of new potential clients. And just a couple of examples of what Palantir is doing. They have their YouTube channel with over 46,000 subscribers where they're putting out these regular videos promoting what the product is and what it can help accomplish, all these different companies in different sectors. And some of these are actually being run as ads on other YouTube videos. Another couple of examples, they're putting billboards up in key locations where they think they can actually capture people that might be making decisions about what types of software products to use in their enterprises. And they're even taking out full page ads in business journals like the Wall Street Journal, where there's potentially going to be readers that could run companies or be involved in the decision making in companies where Palantir could help bring efficiencies. Another thing that Palantir is doing to try and get new clients is by releasing new products regularly. And there's been plenty of examples over the past few years. In their most recent report, they released this slide showing the array of different products that they've been releasing since direct public offering, which is when they went public in 2020. And in fact, just today they announced that they're going to be unveiling new product lines that fall under the Apollo umbrella on April 27th in a special demo day presentation. So that's going to be super interesting. And we're going to see, again, more new products that Palantir is releasing, which the idea is that these new products could target new companies or new sectors, new industries, and then bring in new business. And so related to the idea of new products is the fact that Palantir is actively expanding into new sectors and new industries, which increases the pool of available potential clients and increases their total addressable market. So for example, last year Palantir launched Foundry for Crypto, which gives them an in into a new multi-billion-dollar per year sector or industry, which previously they didn't have any relationship with. And every time Palantir branches out into a new sector, they're increasing the size of their total addressable market. And this slide here from their fiscal year 2021 year-end report is great, and it shows the fact that the different products that Palantir is offering are expanding in terms of their total addressable market, which means they're gaining access to a larger pool of potential clients, which of course is going to trickle down and result in more contracts actually being signed. And if you take a look at this list of Palantir's commercial clients that I've compiled, and I'll throw a link to this down below in the description box in case you want to check it out, but you can see in this column here just how many different sectors they are in. You can just see they're signing up some of the biggest and most influential clients in, for example, the energy sector or the financial sector, and just the diversity of the different number of industries or sectors in this column here is really incredible, and it's going to continue to expand. Another way that Palantir is actively expanding their total addressable market is by increasingly targeting new geographic regions. And so this isn't specifically related to the commercial side of the business, but also the government side of the business. And over the past 6 to 8 months, we've seen a really concerted effort by Palantir to expand in places like Europe, particularly in Germany and the UK, but also elsewhere around the world, like Japan, for example. And if you go to the careers page on Palantir's website, you can see the vast array of positions they're hiring for that are all around the world. Another thing that Palantir is doing to bring in new clients is by signing partnerships with massive companies that could get Palantir's software into the hands of new prospective clients and then ideally lead to more revenue down the road. So for example, Palantir has a partnership with AWS, which is Amazon's cloud web services part of its business model. And this is huge for Palantir because, of course, a lot of what they're doing is focused on operating on the cloud. And just for one more example of a key Palantir partnership that was recently announced is with Carahsoft, which provides a lot of software and IT services to the US government. And so with Palantir Partnering with Carahsoft, it means that they're potentially going to gain access to more US government clients, which is very sticky and recurring and really reliable revenue. There's plenty of other partnerships that Palantir has. I'm not going to go through them all here, but they're actually also listed in that spreadsheet I just referred to, so you can check them out there. Okay, 2 more ways that Palantir is expanding their potential client list is Foundry for Builders and Special Purpose Acquisition Companies, or SPACs for short. Now, Foundry for Builders is a program that Palantir launched to essentially let early stage startup companies have access to Palantir's software at a reduced price. And the idea is that as these companies grow, they'll get hooked on Palantir and they'll eventually roll over into really solid paying customers down the road. And there's a couple of examples of different companies that Palantir is working with on their website. And finally, these SPAC investments are when Palantir is taking some of its free cash flow and investing it in early stage companies that are either pre-IPO or recently IPO'd. And in exchange, those companies are using Palantir Foundry for their various products and services that they're offering. And the theory behind this strategy is that it'll be a win-win for the companies that Palantir is investing in, and also for Palantir because they're gaining equity in a fast-growing early stage company, and those companies are agreeing to use Palantir's software. So those are all the things that Palantir is doing to increase the number of clients that they have and ideally help them hit that 30% year-over-year revenue growth target. But the other thing that Palantir is doing and will continue to do is to try and increase the amount of money that they're making from each client. And if we look at the numbers, they're actually doing this really successfully, because it seems as if when companies or governments use Palantir software, they realize the efficiency gains and they become quickly addicted to the product. And to illustrate the point, we can look at a statistic called net dollar retention. And what this figure means is if it's over 100%, the companies or the governments that are using the products or services are spending more on average per year than they did in the previous year. And we can see that on the commercial side of things, net dollar retention is over 100%, and in the US, it's over 150%. That means that on average, Palantir is getting 50% more revenue from its existing clients from one year to the next, which is pretty crazy. And if we look at the same statistic on the government side, it's equally as impressive. The total government net retention is 146%. In the US, it's slightly lower at 141, but the international government net dollar retention is 161%. So 61% more revenue from its existing international government clients from one year to the next. That's amazing. And for one final way to visualize the point, here's a tweet from Arnaldo Trezzi, who's an analyst who posts a lot of stuff about Palantir, so he's definitely worth a follow. And in this tweet, you can see for these different cohorts in terms of the top 3 clients in the black, top 20 clients in sort of light blue, and the rest of the clients in that teal color. But you can see that in the top 3 clients, they're making more money from those top 3 clients every single year for the past 4 years. And the same story for the top 20 clients. They're making more money every single year from those top 20 clients. And that's exactly what we want to see from Palantir's revenue. Longer contracts, less turnover, and larger contracts, more money from the existing clients while also continuing to bring in new clients. So look, everything about Palantir, the company, the business, is moving in the right direction. When I look at the increasing number of clients and the increasing lifetime value of those clients, I see a business that is making all the right moves. And with the massive investments that Palantir has made in its sales force, with all of these strategic partnerships that they've signed with really key players across various industries, and of course with the launch of all of these new products like Foundry for Crypto and this new Apollo Demo Day product launch, that's going to be another massive undertaking for Palantir. In my opinion, we're going to start to see a snowball effect over the next few quarters, the next few years, and I really do think that Palantir's revenue growth is going to exceed that 30% year-over-year target. I think that's a little bit of lowballing by the Palantir exec team to manage expectations and then be able to over-deliver. Unfortunately, over the past 6 to 8 months, the stock price of the company has moved pretty much in the exact opposite direction from where I feel the fundamentals of the company are going. But I'm not worried. And of course, this is my own opinion and definitely not financial advice, but I do believe that Palantir's stock price is eventually going to catch up to the company. The reality of what the underlying business is and its value proposition is just completely detached from the actual market valuation of the company. And so when I see Palantir trading at $12, $13 per share, what I see is a buying opportunity and an opportunity to bring down my overall cost basis, which is exactly what I've been doing over the past few months, just buying and holding, and I'm looking long term. Anyways, thanks so much for watching and have a great day.